Two under two, you already know what they're about to say.
Rashonda the mama, y'all.
Okay, y'all, so boom, another story time. Y'all know I already did the part one, so click the link in my description below to find out part one of me becoming a mom at 18 and seeing how I hid my pregnancy for the first time. But here we go for part two of how I got pregnant again before my first oldest turned 1. All right, so here we go. So it's about, let me see. I had my first daughter in January of 2023, right? Not 23, y'all. Scratch that. 2003, okay? Yes, I've had my first daughter 2003, January 26th to be exact. And it was Super Bowl Sunday. Your girl went into labor, had my baby, healthy, everything cool. Bam. So here we go, going on into, I want to say I found out I was pregnant. Was it 2-3 months after? Because I had my daughter, my second daughter, in May of 2004. So I believe that I found out around August or September that I was pregnant with my second daughter. Yeah, I think it was like August or September because my baby was getting ready. It's the following year. Now it's January of 2004. Y'all follow along with me, right? Excuse me. It's January 2004. And I found out I was pregnant, but again, I hide my pregnancy again because who wouldn't? Like, I'm still living with my parents, number one. My baby is not 1 year old yet, my first baby. And, you know, who wouldn't want to hide? I was scared. I'm like, how am I going to tell my parents that I'm pregnant again and my baby not even 1 year old yet? How? Just how, right? So I knew, I found out, and again with this baby, I wasn't sure I was going to keep it. And matter of fact, I was like, you know what? No. I was so scared, y'all. I was like, okay, no, I'm going to have to get an AB because my first baby is not 1 yet. My parents going to flip out. I cannot do this, right? So, but let me tell y'all how God works, y'all. So every time I attempted to go get the AB, either I didn't have the money, or I did have the money. When I finally get it, the appointment would never go through. I could never get through on the phone to the places I was calling. And then I finally get an appointment, right, y'all? Listen to this. I finally get an appointment. I get to the place. They do my ultrasound, and I'm like, so you have to pay $100 to go in, right? But if you can't proceed, they give you $50 back. Boom. So I go back. It's my turn to go back to get the ultrasound. And they're like, well, Mom, congratulations. It's a girl. And you are 18 weeks. And you are too far along for the procedure. We cannot proceed forward. Boom. So I'm like, okay. In a way, I was relieved because I really didn't want to do it, but I was like, I felt like I had no options because, like, what, I wasn't working. I was still working, but I was just like, how I'm gonna do this, And so we leave. I get my money back. I go out and tell my boyfriend. I said, well, they told me they can't do it. Of course, he was excited because he didn't want me to go through it with it anyway. My boyfriend at the time was my husband now. He didn't want me to go through with it anyway. And hold that thought, y'all. I'm gonna come right back. Okay, so y'all, he was excited about me not going through with it because he didn't want me to do it. So I was like, okay, all right. I said, so I'm talking to him like, okay, babe, what we gonna do? We already got one. And man, just the same guy from the first baby. So, I'm just like, okay, I'm assured because he's with me, he's supportive, but I'm like, but I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about my parents because that's who I live with. I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? So, I let him know the good news. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go through with it. And then he was like, he started crying. He was so happy that I decided to keep the baby. But I still have not told my parents. And by this time, I'm going on 5 months, right? And it's time for my oldest baby to turn 1 year old. So I'm planning her party and everything. It was the month of her birthday, but again, her birthday is at the end of January. This was the beginning of January. So my mom is taking me out. I think it was like maybe the second, third week in January. My mom takes me to go, pick out a few decorations and things, and we, party planning. Y'all, I don't know how I hid it this time so good, but I did. I hid it for those 5 months. And so we're walking in the store, but I'm getting hot now, right, y'all? I'm getting hot and I'm overheating. I'm like fanning myself. I'm like, ooh, it's hot in here. My mama don't know that I'm pregnant, right, y'all? So I'm like, ooh, it's hot in here. She was like, well, unzip your jacket. And she was like, you do got on that big heavy coat. Y'all, what I do that for? What did I do that for? Because as soon as I decided to unzip my jacket and we walking up and down the aisles and we're looking at different things and she turned around and she said, she looked at my stomach. Y'all, I don't even know what I was thinking. I'm like, why would you do that? You know? And so she looked down at my stomach. She looked down like this, y'all. And she looked up and she said, real slow, she like, Nika, why your stomach so big? And I'm like, well, Mom, we just got through eating. I'm full, I'm bloated. Right? She's like, no. And she asked me again. She said, why is your stomach so big? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh God, I cannot keep hiding this. I gotta go ahead and say something. Although I don't want to tell her while we in the store, but y'all, she kept pressing. She kept pressing the issue, like we're not moving out this aisle until you tell me why your stomach's so round and big. And I'm like, so I let out this big sigh, y'all, and I put my head down, and she was like, oh, H no. I mean, in the middle of Walgreens, embarrassed the mess out of me, right? Ah, H no. She said it real loud. Call your daddy right now, y'all. So mind y'all, we are in the middle of Walgreens, in the middle of the aisle. People are walking past the aisle, but they don't come down the aisle because she's literally, like upset. So I'm like, and I'm crying at this point now because she's like, call your daddy right now. I can't believe you. Oh, H no. Call your daddy right now, y'all. So I had to call my daddy at work. Y'all, I cannot make this up. I had to call my daddy at work and explain to him why I'm calling him and what's going on, y'all. Now, mind you, I am, at this point, I'm 19 going on, about to be 20 years. No, I was 20 going on 21 because I had my second daughter at 21. Yes, I was 21 years old. I had just turned 21 the month before. And then my oldest daughter, I got pregnant at 18, but I had her when I turned 19. Okay, so y'all follow me? Y'all follow? Okay, so here we go. Yeah, 19, and then I turned 20, and then here we go again. I'm pregnant, right? So I had to think about the time frame. So anyway, I'm calling my daddy, y'all. I'm calling the phone ringing real slow. For some reason, time is going real slow right now, and right at that moment, and I'm just like, okay, I hope my daddy don't answer the phone because I don't even want to talk to him right now. I can't talk. I'm emotional. I'm crying. All this and that, right? So my daddy answered the phone. He's like, hello. I said, hey, daddy, but I'm crying. I'm like, hey, daddy. He like, wait, what's wrong? Of course, he alarmed now because I'm crying. I was like, Mama wanted me to call you to tell you because I'm pregnant again. And he's like, y'all, if you could hear a pin drop, you could. That's how quiet my daddy got in that moment. It took him about 5-10 seconds to respond. He said, you know what? Don't worry about it. He said, where y'all at? I said, we in the store, and I'm crying. I'm boo-hooing crying, right? And he like, I'm just like, I'm all on the phone crying because I'm a daddy's girl anyway. So once his daughter's crying, he gonna be concerned more so about than what you done told him. So my daddy said, don't worry about it. We will talk about it when I get home. I'm at work right now. I can't handle, can't take care of the situation. I will talk to y'all when I get home. And I said, okay. And I gave my mama her phone back. Y'all, when I say my mama was irate, she was so angry because again, my oldest daughter was about to turn 1, and now I'm 5 months pregnant. How far along you? How long you done knew? Y'all, she went in, and I'm just like, and I'm crying, and I'm trying to get myself together, and she put down what she was getting ready to buy, and we just walked out the store, because at that point she was just upset. We weren't gonna be able to go into the register and pay for nothing, and then she was that upset, y'all. So then, here's the kicker. So then my daddy get home. I guess he had time to think about it, y'all. So my daddy was like, so you pregnant again, huh? I said, yeah. And he was like, well, what is he gonna do? Have you told him? What is your baby daddy? Have you told him? And I said, yeah, he knows. And he said he gonna be there for me. And so he said, well, I don't want him around right now. I said, oh. I said, well, daddy, our daughter's birthday coming up. He gotta be at the baby birthday party. My mom said, well, I don't care about no party. We don't care about no party. Like, and you what your daddy said is what he said. And I'm like, daddy, and I was like, daddy, that's not fair. My daughter about to turn 1. He gonna want to be at the birthday party. So He like, just give me time to think about it. So my dad didn't talk to me, y'all, for 2 weeks straight. 2 weeks straight. And I was just like, okay. And both of my parents was mad. They was upset, you know. And of course, you know, both my parents are, you know, we're Christians and we believe in Jesus and everything. And so I was raised in a Christian home, and you know, at their standpoint is, you're not married. This is your second child, and you know, you still living home. He doesn't have nowhere for you to go right now, and you know, what are you doing? So, and as if I didn't feel enough guilt and shame as it is, you know. But I understood, you know, and I was just like, okay. So my mama tells, at the end of this, we do have the party still, and my boyfriend then, who was my husband now, was able to come because my daddy calmed down and he said, okay, well, he can come to the party. This is his baby. I'm gonna stop him from seeing his baby on her birthday, because at the end of the day, it's gonna hurt her and not, you know, y'all. So party happens. She have a good time. Birthday gifts, you know, turn one. Woo woo. Then here comes the kicker. Here comes the cliffhanger for me. My mom was like, okay, so you having kids, right? And you got two now, and you got one here and one on the way. It's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. You got to find your own place and get out. I was like, whoa, talk about tough love. Yeah, tough love. My mama said, I don't care. You deciding to be grown, so you got to do what you got to do. Now my daddy was on the other end of the stick. He was just like, I'm not gonna put you out, but you got to do what you got to do, you know. And so, who y'all think won? Comment below who y'all think I listened to, because yeah, it was rough. And becoming a young mom of two at that age, with them so close in age, it was a rough journey. It was a rough time. And yeah, so I'm gonna do a part 3 and let y'all know my decision, or what happened, or whose decision I had to go with, and let y'all know what happened after they had that conversation with me. All right, so I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. Tune in for part 3 to find out who decision I had to go with. All right, love y'all. Peace.